Hello everybody. Today's video I'm going to be reading. So I've already read chapter 1 of this. Now I was going to stop reading, but I want to continue, but I don't think I'm gonna read like every chapter because it's a lot of reading and it's like really long videos. But I am on chapter 3 now, and so I figured to tell you a little bit of what happened in chapter 2. So in chapter 2, she explains that she isn't as smart as her sister. And then her sister got pregnant and had to stay home. But her sister was way smarter than her. And she almost was, I think it was a nurse. She first met the guy that she's gonna take care of, and her family is figuring out that she's going to have this job where she's taking care of this person, and they kind of like get under her skin about it, kind of like a family normally would whenever they're just joking around. So I have like done some research about this book because like I was curious like how good of a book this is. I'm pretty sure it's a New York Times bestseller. Yeah, it is. It says it on here. But I was curious like the reviews and like how people liked it. I looked it up on TikTok too, because TikTok, like, there won't be spoilers most of the time. Hold on, I'm gonna blow my nose. Sorry about that. See how my nose is red? I get really bad allergies as soon as I wake up, and I woke up like not even like 10 minutes ago. Actually, no, say like 30 minutes maybe. But anyway, it's a really sad ending. So if you guys wanna wait till that, and go for it. I'm gonna go ahead and start reading, so we can go ahead and get this going. This is the annex. It used to be Staples, but we realized it would. I'm gonna try to do the. So this is like a British book. Like they have like a British accent in this book. I know that because I did watch the movie before I got the book. I know it's pretty basic to do, but I don't know if I should do a British accent or not. This is the annex. It used to. Okay, hold on. This is the annex. It used to be Stables, but we realized it would suit Will rather better than the house, as it's all on one floor. This is the spare room so that Nathan can stay over if necessary. We needed someone quite often in the early days. Miss Jenner walked briskly down the corridor, gesturing from one doorway to another. Without looking back, her high heels clacking on the flagstones, there seemed to be an expectation that I would keep up. keys to the car. Here, I've put you on our insurance. I'm trusting you. I'm trusting the details you gave me were correct. Nathan should be able to show you how the ramp works. All you have to do is help. All you have to do is help Will position properly, and the vehicle will do the rest. Although he's not desperately keen to go anywhere at the moment. It's a bit chilly out, I said. Miss Trainer didn't seem to hear me. You can make yourself tea and coffee in the kitchen. I keep the cupboard stacked up. I keep the cupboard stacked. The bathroom is right through here. She opened the door and I stared at the white metal and plastic hoist that crouched over the bath. There was an open wet area under the shower with a folded wheelchair beside it. In the corner, a glass fronted cabinet revealed neat stacks of shrink-wrapped bales. I couldn't see what they were from here, but it all gave off a faint scent of disinfectant. Miss Trainer closed the door and turned briefly to face me. I should reiterate. This is the most hold on. Sorry, that was horrible. I should reiterate. This is very important that Will has somebody with him all the time. A previous caregiver disappeared for several hours once to get our car fixed, and Will injured himself in her absence. She swallowed as if she was traumatized by this memory. I won't go anywhere. Of course, you need comfort breaks. I just want to make it clear that he can't be left for long periods, longer than I say 10 to 15 minutes. If something's unavoidable comes up, either ring the intercom as my husband, Stephen, may be home, or call the mobile number. Hold on. If you need to take any time off, I would appreciate as much notice as possible. It's not always easy finding cover. No. Miss Trainer opened the hall cupboard as she spoke like someone reciting a well-rehearsed speech. I wondered briefly how many caregivers there had been before me. If Will was occupied, then it would be helpful if you could do some basic housekeeping, wash bedding, run a vacuum, clean her around, that sort of thing. The cleaning equipment is under the sink. He may not want you around him all the time. You and he will have to work out your level of interaction for yourselves. Miss Trainer looked at my clothes as if it was for the first time. I was wearing a very shaggy waistcoat thing. My dad says it makes me look like an emu. I tried to smile. It seemed like an effort. Obviously, I hope you could get on with each other. It would be nice I'm struggling. If he could think of you as a friend rather than a paid professional. Hold on. What does he, like to do? He watches films sometimes. He listens to the radio or to music. He has one of those digital things. If you position his hand right, he can usually manipulate it himself. He has some movement in his fingers, although he finds it hard to grip. I felt myself brightening. If you like music and film, surely we could get some common ground. I suddenly pictured myself and myself and this man laughing at some Hollywood comedy, and me running the Hoover around the bedroom while he listened to music. Perhaps this was gonna be okay. Perhaps we might be friends. Do you have questions? No. Then let me go introduce you. She glanced at her watch. Nathan should have finished the dressing room. Oh, finished dressing him by now. We hesitated outside the door. Miss Trainer. Are you still there? Oh, this is their first interaction. Miss Clark, to meet you, Will. There's no answer. Will? Nathan? A broad New Zealand accent. I don't know how to do that. He's decent, Miss T. She pushed open the door. The annex's living room was deceptively large, and one wall consisted entirely of glass doors that looked out over open countryside. A wood burner glowed quietly in the corner, and a low beige sofa faced a huge flat-screen television, and its seats were covered by a wool throw. The mood in the room was tasteful and peaceful. A Scandinavian bachelor pad in the center of the room stood a black wheelchair, its seat and back cushioned by sheepskin. A solidly built man in white colorless scrubs was crouching down, adjusting a man's feet on the footrest of a wheelchair. As we stepped into the room, this man's wheelchair looked up under shaggy, unkempt hair. His eyes met mine, after a pause, he let out a blood-curdling groan. Then his mouth twisted, and he let out an unearthly cry. I felt his mother stiffen. Will, stop it. Hold on. I gotta blow my nose again. He didn't even glance towards her. Another prehistoric sound emerged from somewhere near his chest. It was terrible. Agonizing. It was a terrible, agonizing noise. I tried not to flinch. The man was grimacing, his head tilted and sunk into his shoulders. He stared at me through the comforted features. He looked grotesque and vaguely angry. I realized that where I held my bag, my knuckles were turned white. Will, please. There was a faint note of hysteria in the mother's voice. Please don't do this. Oh God, I thought. Not up to this. I swallowed hard. The man was staring at me. He seemed to be waiting for me to do something. I'm Lou. My voice, oh my God, sorry. My voice uncharacterily tremulous broke into the silence. I wondered briefly whether to hold out a hand, and then, remembering that he wouldn't be able to take it, gave me a feeble wave instead. Short for Louisa. Then, to my astonishment, his features cleared and his head straightened on his shoulders. Will Trainor's gaze at me and looked at me steady. The faintest smile was flickering across his face. Good morning, Miss Clark, he said. I hear you're my latest mender. Nathan had finished adjusting his footrest. He shook his head as he stood up. You are a bad man. Miss T. Mr. T. Very bad. Oh, this is what Nathan said. You're a bad man, Mr. T. Very bad. He grinned and held out a broad hand. I shook limply. Let's see how many pages we got. 42. We're on 32. We got 10 pages. I think I might end the video after page 30. After this page. Because I'm kind of tired when I go back to bed. He grinned and held out a broad hand. I shook limply. Nathan excluded air impression. You'll get used to him. His bark is worse than his bite. Miss Trainer was holding the cross at her neck. With slim white fingers, she moved it back and forth along the thin gold chain as a nervous habit. Her face was rigid. I'll leave you to get on. You can call through using the intercom if you need any help. Nathan will talk you through Will's routines and his equipment. I'm here. I'm here, Mother. You don't have to talk across me. My brain isn't paralyzed yet. Yes, well, if you're going to be foul, Will, I think it's best if Miss Clark does talk directly to Nathan. His mother wouldn't look at him as she spoke. I noticed she kept her gaze about 10 feet on the floor. I'm working from home today, so I'll pop in at lunchtime, Miss Clark. Okay. Okay. My voice emerged as a squawk. Miss Trainer disappeared. We were silent while we listened to her clipped footsteps disappearing down the hall towards the main house. Then Nathan broke the silence. You mind if I go and talk to Miss Clark through your meds? Well, you want the television? Some music? Radio 4, please, Nathan. Sure thing. We walked through the kitchen. You've not had much experience with quadriplegics, Miss T says. No. Okay, then I'll keep it fairly simple today. There's a folder here that tells you pretty much everything you need to know about Will's routines and his emergency numbers. I'll advise you to read it if you get a spare moment. I'm guessing you have a few? So this is it. I think I'm just gonna read it until I get tired. Those pages are long. Like, I'll show you. Like, each page is pretty long. I think it's kind of tiring really fast. So, I think I'm gonna finish reading it and then give you guys a little summary. I better summary than the last one, but I don't want to tire myself out. I just woke up. So, as always, I love you guys so much. Good night.